So today we have the Energy Bunny from Northeast DC. I'm talking about the one and only Young Float. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course,
Yes,
of
sir.
course. So I wanted to start with some questions about you and the area that you grew up in and how that impacted you as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean to be from Northeast DC and how has that shaped you as an artist?
Oh man, I mean, you know, it's DC, dog. So I mean, it's like the music, the energy, the fashion. You hear what I'm saying? It's like everything incorporates into becoming who you are. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I incorporated all of that. I took the go-go music. You dig what I'm saying? Started doing go-go when I was young. And I mean, you know, as I grew older, I got more into writing music, you know, making songs, and then it just all came together into who I am today, you know?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that the DMV has been friendly for you as an artist, or would you say being a creator here is more difficult, and why?
I think, me personally, I think it's a little bit harder at home. I don't know if that's for everybody, but you know, I spend a lot of time perfecting my craft and trying to build myself. So as far as incorporating with different individuals, you know, it took time for me to start doing that and presenting my music to the world the way I do now, you know? So you said the question was it friendly?
Yeah, because a lot of time artists feel like, you know, this is not the best spot to be a musician. They feel like there's a lot of envy in this area, or there's maybe not as many opportunities as we have in like New York, Atlanta, Cali. Like, we're not one of those hotspot places.
I mean, I can agree, you know, but at the same time, I think we understand that as a scene now, you know, and we're trying our best to build that, you know, as we go on. Yeah, growing up, you know, I mean, that just wasn't our facade. That wasn't the rap scene. I mean, we had a few people that were doing their thing, but I mean, go-go music was always, you know, what I heard growing up. Mm-hmm. It's really what I sat in the backseat of my mother and my grandmother's vehicles listening to. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I mean, we didn't really know rap. And I think we've built to that stage now where we're doing something about that. You know, we're building on that.
So who is your favorite go-go band growing up then?
Growing up, it's probably TCB. Mm-hmm. TCB, because they would play TCB in my school. I went to Bacchus. I went to Birdie Bacchus. So we had like the little school functions and shit, and they would play go-go, but they would play, I remember specifically TCB, and I would ask you like, yo, who the fuck, like, what is that that's playing right now? Because I wasn't hip to it at that time. Mm-hmm. I was just hearing shit. So I would ask people, and they say TCB. I kept hearing this name, TCB. That's when they were burning discs and shit. So I started getting discs of TCB, like greatest hits. These niggas had been out for a minute at that time. Right. So I was just, you know, it was probably TCB growing up, definitely. Rest in peace, Polo.
All right. Mm-hmm. So now transitioning to you as an artist,
yeah.
Where did the name Young Float originate from?
Well, I started a music group. You dig what I'm saying? As I was coming up, so around maybe 2012, 2013, I started Still Floating, and at that time I was going by G Marley. I was going by different names. You dig what I'm saying? But eventually, I just had to realize, you know, I was pushing this brand so much, mm-hmm. and I was trying to diversify from it and become something different. I just figured, you know, why not be the brand itself? And eventually, I just, you know, put the name to myself as Young Float.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw that you recently performed at the Creative House Pool Party live session.
Facts.
So what was that experience like? What was that experience like? And what were the vibes like out there in Fiji?
It was fire, man. It's amazing. You know, I'm really getting the chance to travel around my area now, you know, doing these songs and doing these shows with Creative House, and it's been fun. It's been amazing. They're really good at what they're doing. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm just appreciative of the opportunity. I think highly of myself, and I think the music can go far. So doing what they're doing what you guys are doing behind the buzz, man, it's amazing, and I appreciate it. Yeah.
So I have another question. So you say you think highly of yourself. Mm-hmm. Has there ever been any like opposition or doubters or haters or people who didn't necessarily feel the same about you?
I mean, you gotta understand, like, probably our biggest critic is ourselves. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, like this is something we don't see often. We don't see young black men from DC becoming multi-million-dollar rap stars often. You dig what I'm saying? It happens once in a while. Maybe the last few years we've seen maybe 5 to 6. But I mean, and that's my goals. You dig what I'm saying? That's what I want to be. I never portrayed anything different. I want to be one of the biggest artists in the world. You dig what I'm saying?
Of course. All right. So speaking of performances, we've seen that you also performed in Brooklyn, New York. So you kind of expanded, you know, away from the DMV. What, has that been your best show? And like, if not, what was the most impactful or greatest experience that you've had in your music career so far?
That was a big experience. I'm not gonna lie. That's great because New York is always welcoming to new artists, to different sounds, to different things. So New York is always amazing. Probably one of my biggest accomplishments thus far, though, is actually sitting down with one of music legends, Chucky Thompson, before he passed away. I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with Chucky, but
enlighten us.
Chucky did a lot of work with Mary J. Blige and Biggie Smalls back in the day when they were originally starting with the label with Bad Boy, and he's just been a light from DC that actually was accomplishing some of the goals that we only wish to achieve. You dig what I'm saying? So sitting down, gaining some of that knowledge before he passed away was amazing to me, and it's, you know, something I cherish.
All right. So what type of artist are you? Because I see a lot of trap music on your page, but then when I listen to this song Phases, I see that you also have a voice too. So how would you describe yourself as an artist?
Just that. You dig what I'm saying? An artist. You dig what I'm saying? I don't try to put myself in a box. You know, I try to create what I feel and what I like. So if I'm feeling a certain way at a certain time, I might feel like I want to create rock and roll. I'll put some rock and roll in my music. Or I might feel like I want to create something with the melody. I'll make that. You know, it's just, I incorporate whatever I'm feeling or whatever because I'm inspired. You know, I'm inspired by music.
Right. So
when I hear these different sounds, these different instruments, I just want to put them in my tracks, you know?
Okay. So lastly, what can you tell me about your song Phases that we're about to get into now?
Phases is probably one of my biggest songs. You know what's crazy about Phases? You know, I just make music, I just write. I don't know what people are gonna gravitate to. I don't know what people are gonna feel the most. I don't know what's gonna attract people. So I just write and put music out. And Phases, it was strange because people started gravitating more and more towards Phases. And I didn't understand why, because to me, it was just a song that I put out. But that's when I stopped looking at my music as just songs and looked at every piece as this could possibly change someone's feelings or, you know, give someone a different emotion that they probably weren't feeling at that moment.
Absolutely.
You dig what I'm saying? So I mean, people just started gravitating more and more towards Phases, and it just started going up, and it got me to Sony.
All right.
Got me to Sony.
Got you to Sony?
Yeah, it got me to Sony.
We can't just breeze over that. Hold on, like.
It got me to Sony. It did. You know, I was in contact with a few people up at the location. It was a great experience, you know, going up there, meeting different people. But the thing about Sony and what was understandable was I'm a new artist, you understand? I didn't have a great following at that time. I had a good song. And they wanted to utilize the song for another artist at the label. And looking back, I don't regret anything I did, but I look at it like, you know, a learning experience. You know, it is what it is. I didn't take the deal that was on the table at the time because I didn't feel like it served me in the best light. But like I said, looking back, you know, I could have probably got writer credits for Phases, and it probably could have took a different, you know, route. But
so are you completely independent? Did you have any lawyers or anybody look over this deal that they were giving you, or is it just like, I see this and I don't rock with it for my own?
Well, it wasn't no paper contract. It was more so like verbal contract. They say, you know, things like, hey, we can not promise you this, but eventually, and these types of words, you know what I'm saying? And it's understandable. I mean, like I said, I was a new artist. I didn't have a big following, and no, I didn't have any lawyers or anything like that. I had my family in there, you know? But I mean, at that time, I didn't want to feel taken advantage of because I didn't have those things on the table, you know? So I made the decisions that I made, and, you know, I'm still building.
All right. So you want to get into this song now?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's good though, you already know Big Foe, you hear me? Right now we about to get into my song Phases. Yeah. Phases on phases on phases. Yeah. Yeah, I love you, but I can't be tied down. I can't lie now. I can't cry now. No, pain in me and I can't let it out. No.
Can you break down the meaning behind these lyrics and explain to me how Young Float has impacted your relationship with women, your life?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, this is a job at the end of the day to me, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's my passion, it's my baby. All of my music is my heart expressed in musical form. You dig what I'm saying? So it's hard when it comes to personal relationships with women because even though we might build a real connection, you know, something sustainable, at the end of the day, I built my life around being this person on display, if that makes sense. Being an artist, you know, at all times in everything I do, I wake up and I think about being on a stage. You understand what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard to deal with those things and incorporate those and still try to have a balanced relationship, you know? But it takes work, you know? Water dripping all over a nigga like a fucking fountain. I can see that on your face, I know you niggas doubt it. Yeah.
If you can get one thing off your chest to all your haters and doubters, what would you say to them on this platform? Don't do that.
Don't do that. You can't sleep. You can't sleep on a beast. You hear me? You can't sleep on a sleeping giant. You hear what I'm saying? And when I say that in the humblest way I can. I mean, bruh, like I said, I wake up every morning and think about this. You can't sleep on a person that goes to sleep, wakes up thinking about being the best he possibly can be at his art form. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you could do what you decide to do, and that's fine. And it never stopped me from my personal goals or where I plan to go. Still on that gas, I wrote that strip just to ease my mind. My pain in the past, I know you'd rather see my demise. Yeah.
Do you believe people are envious of you and all the success that you're finding as an artist?
That's a good question. I don't know for sure. I don't want to say just people are envious because I don't know some of those people personally. If they are envious, you know, more power to them. Have I ever felt envy? Like from a vibe? Possibly, yeah. I mean, you know, people give off different energies when you're around them type shit, but can I say that people are personally envious of what it is I'm doing? Nah, possibly not. I mean, because they got their own personal goals, you know what I'm saying? So as long as you're doing your own personal goals, why would you be envious of somebody chasing his personal goals? You dig what I'm saying? And like I said, if you are, then sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. Phases on phases on phases. Now we headed them places. Yeah. Told my family we gon' make it. Hey.
So what phases have you gone through, and what is this place that you're referring to?
The place specifically is beyond anything a lot of people can imagine. You dig what I'm saying? Beyond anything I can imagine. I want to get to a place where people say, hey, man, I watched him grow to become the artist that he is today. And that place is where I want to get to. And the phases that I've gone through to get there, I mean, hey, man, you know, I've had friends, you know, that are no longer friends that are with me, you know, some that are still living and some that are gone from this earth. And, you know, just your mindset, just your mindset of how you're living, what you're doing in life, you know, just trying to get better at those things. So I guess those would be the phases that I'm referring to in life, you know, just trying to have a better mindset about what it is I'm doing and the goals I want to achieve.
Of course. All right, so last but not least, do you have any upcoming projects or events we should know about, and where can we find Young Float on social media?
Everything on IG and all other social media is YXNG Float, Young Float, you hear me? I'm on everything, Spotify, Apple Music, any place you can probably find music, I'll probably be there. I'm trying to get there, you hear me? What to expect from me, I am working on something new. I'm working on For You. For You is a tape / album that I've, you know, been working on for like at least 3 to 4 years now. And it's something special to me because it's it's long coming, you know. It's something that I've been working on that I'm prideful about.
Yeah,
I
4 years.
Yeah, it's a long time, and I put out 4 to try to give you know, a view of what it is I was working on for you, basically. So I'm working on basically like a trilogy of those concepts. So after For You, you'll get Forever Young, and from there, I mean, you know, just hope to keep going up and doing my thing.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for Behind the Buzz at the Creative Space. Please be sure to follow Young Float, For the People Records, and the Creative House DMV on Instagram. And thank you, Float, for spending time with us here at Behind the Buzz.
Thank you. I appreciate it.